Hey everyone, today we're going to be talking about edge pickups. If you've ever wondered what these little things are, why you might need to use them, how to get stronger fingers using them, then you are watching the right video. This is an introduction into how to do edge pickups, what you need, all the equipment. Any questions you might have will be answered in this video, or maybe most of them, because I'm joined by the pro when it comes to edge pickups, Alex Lemel, who I couldn't think of anyone better to join me for this video, because if I've got a question about edge pickups, I ask this guy. So now you get to hear what he has to say too. Okay, an introduction to edge pickups, a question. I'm going to try and get you to give me a yes or no answer. Do you think all climbers can do edge pickups?
Yes.
You said a yes or no answer. People never do those. Yes.
Definitely.
Thank you, Alex. Okay, right, you're getting started. You've never done an edge pickup before. You're watching this video and you're like, what are they even on about? What is an edge? So to start with, an edge is literally a piece of wood or metal with an edge that you can lift off the ground. Is that right?
Yeah.
Although you can hang this way and that way. Let's just go with pickups for now.
Yeah.
So you need some sort of edge. I'm very biased, and Foxy edges are the best on the market. However, I do use a broad range of different edges too, or have done previously before Foxy existed. Tell me what someone might look for in their first edge.
So I think the first thing you need to decide is what size edge you need. So if you're starting out on edge pickups, I think generally around 20 mil or above to start for edge pickups is a really good size. And then the second thing you want to decide is if you want a wood or a metal one. They're the two things I think that you're going to come across in the market.
So first off, to decide on what edge you need to decide on edge size and material.
Yeah.
And metal, 20 mil to start with. It's a great start. Foxy made one. It's funny that.
Yeah.
It's like we thought about this.
Yeah.
Foxy is my brand, hence why I'm very biased. But I think comfort goes in there a little bit as well. And you know, for us with Foxy, we've designed the radius and the texture, because these metal edges are textured, to be as comfortable as possible, because no one wants to trash their skin doing edge pickups, right?
Yeah, and I think it's a similar thing to, you know, it's such a personal thing. Everyone has the chalk that they like, for example, right? And the feeling that they're used to, maybe even their chalk bag, it's like this like safe thing, like this tangible feeling. And so with edge pickups, I used a particular edge for a very long time, and it was like, you know, I could just feel what my edge felt like.
Yeah.
Then I tried the Foxy edge and I immediately moved to it. And that is because, for me, it felt like very comfortable to use, but more importantly, for me, the texture.
Yeah.
So just for me personally, that was such a huge thing. Like, obviously it's a beautiful looking piece of equipment, but you know, for me, was it functional as well? And it was, you know, so, and the reason I give that context is because you're biased because it's your thing.
Yeah.
But
I'm not paying him to promote Foxy.
No, and that's
I'm not paying him to promote Foxy at all, just FYI.
No, definitely not.
We've got a range of different edges here today to kind of showcase that there are a bunch of different ones on the market, and it is a personal preference thing. If you're watching this and you want an introduction into edge pickups, you do need to think about the size of the edge. And I agree, starting off with kind of 20 mil and then maybe working down if that's right for you. It's definitely all about like fitting your needs at that time.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got our edge. What do we connect to it? What goes on the bottom? What weights do we use? What's the connecting mechanism? Do you need anything fancy to start off with, or can you literally just clip a carabiner into an edge and then you could like clip this onto a weight, right?
Yeah, you can clip that either onto the loading pin or a sling around kettlebells or a weight plate.
Yeah, we can see here someone's already done that at this gym, you know, chucked a sling through a weight so that they can not need the lifting pin. So it's just thinking of whatever mechanism works best for you or that you have available to connect weights to.
Yeah, I think
I even connect my daughter to the bottom. She's a great weight to pick up.
I think
advising that, just FYI.
Yeah, I think these methods are both available, but I do think it's worth chatting about the difference that's going to have on the lift versus what method you use. Because with the lifting pin, it obviously keeps everything much more stable, and that's important as you get into like lifting a bit heavier weight. So on the lower weight, maybe sling kettlebells around the weights is okay, but that you're going to very quickly find that starts to restrict you.
And luckily for all of you watching, we've got a more advanced edge pickups video as well, where we get into the nitty gritty of all of this. Right now we are just giving you an introduction, so once you've got your edge and your setup, what the fuck does someone do? How do you go about picking things up? How much weight do you pick up? How long do you pick it up for? What is your grip type like? And my big one is I am a firm believer in a form first approach. Please tell me you're on the same page.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's all about keeping that form, not about pushing to your max, especially when you're starting out, I think.
Yeah, I think that, you know, this is such an important point, but for me, this really links into why this is such an effective tool versus potentially using a fingerboard if you're not quite there yet with body weight, because again, you can scale this back to start at a very low weight and work on increasing keeping form through the weight. So this is why pickups are so effective and more accessible than people think, because you know you can scale that weight right back to 10 kilos and understand.
You can scale it back to 2 kilos.
You could scale it back to 2 kilos if you want, and just understand like form, grip position, you know, kinesthetic feedback of like what this actually feels like. So it is really an effective tool even for like people fairly like new into it.
Okay, I feel like there's 2 grip types to start out with when you're introducing yourself to edge pickups, and that would be an open hand grip, so like this, and then a half crimp, where for me that first finger needs to stay at a nice 90 degrees. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we've got form in the fingers, so keeping that nice lock at 90 degrees. Open hand would be the 3 fingers. And this is gonna look different because everyone has different length fingers. That's why I try and say that front finger at 90 is a good like measure to keep.
Yeah, definitely.
For me, when a rep fails, if you're doing half crimp, it's when that first finger that index finger starts to open, not when the weight hits the ground. So it's really keeping that form. But I feel like I don't know what the form is for actually picking it up, because you want to be aware of like what your back's doing and how like engaging your legs. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely.
So if we're clipping this onto here, how are we picking this up?
So things to think about when we do the lift are my knees are bent, my back's straight, so bum's not sticking out and I'm bent over. I'm like, hips are in, back straight, and I'm gonna lift through the legs.
I feel like a good cue for this is to try and lift the weight straight up. So it's not swinging around or moving about.
Definitely. My shoulders like passive, i.e. it's not like torqued up here, and like sort of letting it lean over into the front of the body, because obviously we can't lift like this.
No way.
So
that would be hard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like right now in this lift, I'm listening to my fingers, like I can feel what they're doing. So I think those are the most important things, are like fingers, back, and the shoulder not engaged up like this. They're the main cues.
And controlling up and controlling back down.
Down is like 50% of the rep. And I think that's a really interesting point, is like, you know, I see people edge lifting and they drop in heavy weights onto the floor. And this is, you know, this is a lot of risk of injury with this. So controlled back down as well.
Thanks. So we've got our setup, we've got our form. The first 2 steps when you're getting into edge pickups. Now, what do we do? How long are we picking it up for? We're going for longer hangs, shorter hangs. This is where I am all ears because I love using edge pickups as a warm-up tool. I find it so nice. I love doing 30-second, nice long hangs at a lighter weight for me. And then I do also like using them as a strength training tool. So maybe once a week going towards max or near to max to help strengthen my fingers as well. But do we want to be thinking about doing longer hangs to begin with or shorter hangs, or what do you think? If you had someone come to you, never done edge pickups before, wants to start progressing, I know there'd be a whole backstory. We can't answer this for everyone.
I think
we have to try.
I think there's like, you know, you touched on a couple of protocols. You touched on like the longer hangs, right? And then the shorter hangs. For me, if I was...
Tell me, what is a longer hang?
Well, 20 to 30 seconds.
And what's the shorter hang?
I think 5 to 10 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the difference for me.
Yep.
And I think if I was starting someone out on edge lifting, I would go for the shorter hang, 5 to 10 seconds.
That's so interesting. I would have assumed it'd be the other way around. That's why you're here.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, if someone comes to me and we're working together from a coaching point of view, for me, the longer hang definitely has a place for like a lower intensity, longer duration, right? But if someone comes to me and we're starting to work on developing strength, then we're going to look at a lower time. Now, that time, that 5 to 10 seconds encompasses quite a lot of different weight, from 10 seconds at a lower weight up to like 5 seconds at like a higher weight. So that's also an indicator.
That lower or higher weight looks like for you to hold for that amount of time. So whatever you can hold for 5 to 10 seconds whilst maintaining form. So that weight will be different for me than what it'd be for Alex, than what it'd be for someone just starting out. There's a kid that I train with, he's been climbing 2 years and he lifts way heavier than me. So it's not about time climbing as well, which I think people get a little bit lost in. It's not like you're coming in to do an edge pickup, you've been climbing 20 years, so you should be able to pick up X amount of weight. Kind of time climbing has its place and relevance, but it doesn't actually translate to a number on these weights, right?
Exactly, and that's why we're here now chatting about this, because it is an accessible style of finger training, because you can scale it right back.
Exactly, I love it. And I just want to throw a few more questions at you, if that's okay, before the end of this video. So we've got our setup, we know about form, we know we want to be hanging for 5 to 10 seconds. How many total pickups are we looking for? Because someone could add 1 kilo at a time and end up doing 50 edge pickups. I wouldn't expect that you'd recommend that before going climbing.
Yeah.
Is there a max number, a min number? Like,
I think,
come on, give us some numbers. 5 to 10 seconds, how many reps is too many?
I think you want 1 to 2 reps at each weight. And I think you want 7 to 10 sets in total.
Okay. So would that be 7 to 10 pickups, or would that be 14 to 20 pickups?
That's like 7 to 10 pickups in total.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. I like it. So to recap, we have your setup. You need an edge, you need something to connect it to, and you need some weight. And then we've talked about form, thinking fingers, but also our elbow, our shoulder, kind of what the back looks like when we're doing that pickup. And then we've talked about the protocol. So 5 to 10 seconds, 7 to 10 reps to start out.
Yeah, like 7 to 10 once you've done those first few sessions to benchmark.
Okay.
Maybe they're 5 to 7 sets, and then as you get into it, then you can work up to 7 to 10.
These coaches and experts always like to add the nuance. I just want some straight numbers for you guys. I'm trying. And quick one to finish, how many sessions a week when you're starting out?
I think 2 sessions a week.
2 sessions
is good.
That was a solid 1 sentence answer. He's getting there. Amazing. That is exactly what I think people need when they're just starting out, because it is like a foreign world. It feels so far away from climbing, and I think these can be so beneficial, especially in warm-ups. I use an edge every single time I go climbing to warm up. I use a 15 mil when I'm climbing indoors. I use a 10 mil when I'm climbing outdoors. We get into why in the other video. You don't need to worry about that right now. You just need to go buy any edge, ideally a Foxy edge. And yeah, start picking some weights up and see how it feels and ease yourself into it. And if anything ever feels painful or weird or not right, go speak to Huffy or any other medical professional, but probably the climbing physio, because he's the guy that knows all about all of this. Yeah, thank you for watching, and definitely check out our more advanced version of edge pickups. I think it's got a better name by now because that is a bit of waffle right there. But yeah, thanks for watching.